a guess on which one's right.
Yeah. Courtney.
In this video, we're going to talk about how Valley Girl English, or I think we can call it Valley Speak, is a mind virus that is becoming one of the more common ways to speak modern English. We'll talk about the different elements that make up this way of speaking, look at some examples, then get into what that means for English learners. Should I start teaching you to talk like this? Maybe, but maybe not. What makes up Valley Girl English? Really, it's three key elements: vocal fry, upspeak, and the frequent use of the word like, among some other words. But like especially, and literally, and yeah.
Can I please get a large double McChicken meal?
For the drink?
Yeah.
No rings with that today?
Yeah.
Job on 3.
Thank you. Literally so obsessed.
Now, I think it may be better to call this way of speaking Valley Speak instead of Valley Girl. It may have started in the upper middle class in the Valley, but it really has become much more prevalent and may be equally common among men and women.
You know, I made this public bet 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that, when everyone was saying there was a bubble. And I just looked at it recently. It's looking pretty good. And at the time, everyone was like, this is ridiculous. You're going to lose the bet by far.
Let's start with vocal fry. This is when the voice begins to crackle and takes on the sound that your voice might have when you wake up in the morning. Oh, I need coffee. I'm so tired. Good morning. Like that sound. And we might have it now and again at the end of a sentence. I sometimes do, but to have it consistently would probably be described as having vocal fry.
Take a guess on which one's right.
Yeah. Courtney.
Now, I think because we associate it with that groggy sound we have when we first wake up, it has this laid back sound to it, and I think it may give the vague impression to some people that you simply can't be bothered to put a little extra effort into speaking clearly. That's, I think, the impression that some people get if they hear a lot of vocal fry. But as I said, now it is really prevalent.
The replica dress fits me and is big on me. And I thought, oh my God, this is perfect. I bet the fabric shrunk a little bit over time, but the dress will fit. I'm one step closer to bringing my vision to life.
Language models are going to go just much, much further than people think. I would guess that with the quality of language models we'll see in the coming years, there will be a serious challenge to Google for the first time.
I think we can see from these two examples that we're looking at a speaking trend rather than a speech pattern specific to any group or type of person. I think it's very difficult to make a generalization. Instead, we're seeing a trend here. Now, while this could suggest a lack of articulate speech to some people, it may also be true that some people just talk like this. But what do you think? Do you think this way of speaking means something about the person who uses it, or is this just a mind virus? Or what? Next, we have uptalk. This is when the intonation of the voice goes up at the end of a sentence, even when it's not a question.
I literally get this question asked all the time, so I'm going to give you 3 options, and you have to guess which one's correct. Here's the first. Here's a second.
This speech pattern could give the impression that whoever uses it is generally lacking in confidence. It can also give the sense that you want to say something, but there's room for doubt. You're not really sure. Finally, frequent use of the word like. There are other words that we could add here, such as literally, but like is the one that has really spread around the world. Go to any country around the world where English is spoken, and you will hear people say, like, I mean like, and we were like, and I was like, so like, but yeah, like, all of that.
If we can't articulate our thought or ideas clearly to someone, they'll be like, oh, what does she know? Like, she can't even like articulate her thoughts to us, so like why should she be allowed to do that type of thing?
In society, men are perceived as like more authoritative when they like say something, as opposed to like if Harleen and I said like the same sentence, like someone would be more likely to believe me than Harleen for like whatever reason, for like whatever like social ideas permeate and like cause that to happen.
It is everywhere, and for people who don't consciously try not to use it, it's in almost every sentence. I was recently sitting in a booth in a restaurant, and there were two people behind me having a conversation, a man and a woman. I don't know if it was a date, I don't know. But they were using the word like a lot. They were using it so much that I decided to count how many times they used the word like in a minute. What's your guess? 23 times in 1 minute, which is a lot. With like, we have a word that can be sprinkled into a sentence almost anywhere. Sometimes it's useful, and sometimes not. When you say, I was like, that could mean, for example, I said. So there it does have a specific meaning. But when you say, but like, it's not so clear what that means. What does it mean to say but like as opposed to just but? I'm not sure. Does it add something? It must, otherwise why is it there? Right? Regardless of how you may feel about like, vocal fry, and upspeak, these are fixtures in the English language, and it's something that we just have to deal with. So then the question is, as I said, should I teach it? For me, the answer is no. And the reason is because if you're learning modern English, if you're watching TV shows, you're probably going to start picking up a few likes automatically. You may have a few upspeak moments. You might even have a bit of vocal fry if you didn't before. And so I don't need to teach these things because they're mind viruses. And that brings me to my opinion. I don't like it. It annoys me. It bothers me. When I hear a million likes and vocal fry and upspeak, my brain is like, okay, this person doesn't value clarity. I'm not telling anybody that they're a bad person or dumb or anything like that. As I said, don't think it has anything to do with the type of person you are necessarily. I think it's just a language trend. I happen to simply value being articulate. Maybe that makes me a dinosaur, but I think that there are still people who want to express themselves articulately. I think it's good to have a casual mode of speech that you would use with friends, but then also have another mode that is, let's call it, public. So 2 modes. And learning how to craft your speech will, I think, give you a huge advantage in certain situations. Maybe a job interview, maybe a video. In general, when you're explaining things, especially in the workplace, it can be a big advantage to know how to express yourself well. And the more the mind virus consumes the English-speaking world, the more impressive those who know how to not use Valley speak will sound. So, are you going to be one of those people? If not, fine. But if so, welcome to a club that gets smaller and smaller every day. I would love to hear how you feel about this. So let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, hit the bell. And if you want to continue improving your English, you can get a free course, Natural English Conversations. That is in the links in the description, and I will see you in the next one.